Education, they say, is the key. But when it comes to Ghana's education, we know that sector has been beset with numerous challenges, from inequitable access to quality education, misalignment between education and the needs of the workforce, leaving a gap, limited integration of technology and education, and more. But to tackle these challenges holistically, the International Community Schools Accra campus will in July be hosting the inaugural International Educators Summit. This is built as a groundbreaking initiative organized by the Ghana Association for Supervision and Curriculum Development, that is Ghana ASCD, that will convene international educators to address the pressing challenges faced by Ghana and other African countries. Well, joining us for a conversation this morning to look into these issues and what this summit will bring to bear, we have Dr. Charles Yeboah. He is co-founder and director of ICS. He is also executive director, Ghana ASCD. And joining him, we are forming a sandwich in the studio, Dr. Laureen Adams, director of professional learning, Ghana ASCD. Lady, gentlemen, thank you for joining the conversation.
Thank you.
Dr. Yeboah, I'll start with you. Now, you run a very successful, the International Community Schools.
Yes.
It's not just Accra, you have Kumasi as well. Mm-hmm. But if I asked you to give an assessment of the educational sector in Ghana, from where you sit and what you see, what would you say?
Well, I would say that there's been a lot of improvement. Government over the years have done what they can, to create access. Over the years, there's been numerous reforms, to improve educational outcome. In recent times, we know, the signature project of the current government, which is the free SHS. So all of that is to increase access and give opportunity to as many young people as possible. The challenges, though, have been, even though there has been widened access, often, and I think this is common knowledge, that quality, has been compromised. And that is one area that government and citizens, all of us together, need to work on, to ensure that not only do we have access, but access to quality. Not access to education, but access to quality education.
And that is basic. Access is one level.
Yes.
Quality is the next step.
It's the next level. And it's the quality that you need to be able to compete in our fast-changing world. It's not just education, but quality education.
Let me come to Dr. Adams on this point. So, as far as you're concerned, you're with the Ghana ASCD.
Yes.
Our curricula in Ghana, are they fit for purpose in terms of the education that the current dispensation across the world would need, and also to fill the job market? Because you educate people so that they can also fill industry-related positions. Are we there? Are we doing that?
I think we're getting there, right? We're going to be rolling out a new curriculum, and it is aimed to meet some of those 21st century needs. But in addition to curriculum, it's also about pedagogy. So we need to make sure that educators know how to create learning spaces that enable young people to be critical thinkers, creative thinkers who have opportunities to collaborate with each other and can really practice communication, especially through technology. So all of those things in tandem are what we need, and we're moving in that direction, yes.
Right. So you would say that we're on the right trajectory?
Yes, absolutely.
By and by, we're getting there.
Yes.
Let's also talk about, and I'll start with you, Dr. Adams, and also go to Dr. Yeboah on this. The inaugural International Educators Summit is coming off in July, between the 5th and the 7th. There's a proposal to deal with the challenges that remain. What are some of these challenges that you're going to be addressing in the course of this summit?
So as Dr. Yeboah mentions, one area we really want to focus in on is the quality of education. So we're going to be sharing some strategies and techniques, and again, focusing on pedagogy that supports 21st century learning. We really want to help prepare young people for the world of work. So we know that there's a gap around students finishing school and being ready to enter the workforce. Additionally, the technology divide. So something we're trying to address through the conference is sharing how to use technology in education. Do you want to share?
Yes. And then we've seen in terms of wellness, what happened, during COVID. And on technology, we saw a real digital divide. Private schools, not even all private schools, but some private schools were able to keep students in school.
Right.
Public schools were shut, for over a year and caused a great learning loss. So
and those who were able to keep them had to innovate virtually.
Had to innovate.
Go virtual.
Had to innovate. But first you have to have even the resources to be able to do that, right? But in the public space, we saw a huge challenge, leading to learning loss. So technology is very, very important, to talk about. But now technology is moving so fast that you don't need all the gadgets. People on their phones, can access, new technology such as generated, AI and machine learning that you can actually access on smartphone. And in Ghana today, everybody has access to smartphone because everybody WhatsApp, right? So we need to begin to think, about how we can leverage on technology that we have. We don't even need to worry about what we don't have, but what we have now, to improve education technology in Ghana. And the conference will be dealing with that. And of course, and then I mentioned COVID. We know how COVID dealt quite a blow on mental health. And so educators go through a lot of challenges. Around the world, we are seeing educators burn out. One of the things that we'll be talking at the conference also to do with mental well-being of teachers and educators. Because if you take good care of teachers, they take good care of learners.
And interesting perspectives, because you go to some parts of the country and even school buildings, brick and mortar, are practically non-existent. The teacher has to go through 100 times more just to impart education. But I'm curious, as part of this summit, are you going to be looking as well at the divide? There is unemployment, yes, but there's underemployment, where people actually have the skills, but they are not getting work compatible with their skill set. And so they end up doing something completely different. Is that an angle at some point will be addressed at the summit?
Yeah, I think we hope to do so. One of the speakers that will be speaking at the conference is Patrick Awia, and we had a conversation with him just 2 days ago, and he was going to anchor, his talk on how education can actually help transform economic, development in the country. And so, yes, we will not only be talking about world of work, but how do you get them there? To give them the skill set that they need to be able to be employable, because there's a direct link, between education, world of work, and productivity and economic development, and therefore fight of poverty. So we'll be looking at all of that. Yeah.
Dr. Adams, how involved has the education ministry been in all of this, as far as you know, the education ministry? How involved have they been?
Yeah, so they're supporting the conference and actually supporting one of our post-summit events too, which is a leadership masterclass, which we're going to offer on the 8th of July. So our summit is the 5th through 7th, and on the 8th, we are inviting 300 educational leaders only from Ghana to get a masterclass in leadership, and that's sponsored by the Ministry of Education and GES.
Right.
Yeah.
And let's talk about speakers, those who are going to be at this event, those we can expect to elaborate on those crucial issues. Dr. Yeboah.
Yes, so the minister himself, Minister for Education, is going to be there. He's going to come and open the conference.
Dr. Edichum,
yes. Right. And the first day, Patrick Awia is going to be our keynote speaker. He'll be speaking, in fact, he's going to be with us the whole day. Not only would he speak, provide a keynote, but he also do, a 1 hour or more elaboration about how education can really help transform the country. And then it's going to be on a panel with one of the very well-respected educator from the U.S., Doretta Hammond, who is also coming to really talk deeper about how we can leverage on AI, to improve educational outcome in Ghana.
Right. Mm-hmm. So let's go back to when this is happening, who can attend, and then I'll come to Dr. Adams on what your expectations are. What are the outcomes you are looking for? But let's start with where it's happening, when it's happening.
Okay, so we already talked about the dates, July 5th to 7th, and then the post-leadership masterclass, post-summit leadership masterclass on the 8th. This is happening at ICS campus in Obojo. We have a beautiful modern auditorium that will host the conference. And we are inviting all educators. This is going to be the first time in Ghana that we are going to have over 100 presenters, about 80 of them coming from the US alone. But they're coming from UK, they're coming from other parts of Africa, to really convene and provide over 100 presentations, over the period of 3 days, right? And so all educators, policymakers, NGOs, school teachers, school leaders, Ministry of Education agency leaders, and everybody who is in the education space is welcome and is highly recommended, to attend, this conference. Yeah.
Outcomes?
Yes.
What are your expectations?
Yes. So we want our young people to be continuous lifelong learners, and so in order for us to expect that of them, we need to model that. Right. So we are sharing learning, we are networking, we're hoping to gain practical strategies and tools that are transferable. So Ghanaian educators worldwide will learn from experts in the field in highly interactive learning sessions. There'll be deep dives, book talks. We have a lot of published authors who are coming as well. And of course, just to grow your professional network, right? So you can continue to learn from each other and grow, because education is innovating at a very quick pace, and you need to have resources beyond your local context so that you can stay competitive.
You mentioned pedagogy, and pedagogy is evolving. It's not static, and you must do your best. And the theme for that event, of course, reimagining education for the future we seek, Africa and the world in dialogue. Education is key, but what we do with it is the main bit. Well, thank you, Dr. Adams, for joining the conversation. Dr. Charles Yeboah is co-founder and director of ICS. He's also executive director, Ghana ASCD. And we also had in the studio Dr. Laureen Adams, director of professional learning with the Ghana ASCD. We'll take a bit of a breather. We'll return with more action shortly. Do stay.